Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to day one of the mini junior leadership conference led by the Youth for Youth Mentorship Society. I am your host, Courtney, and I am the director of social media for Y4Y. During today's event, we will be having a few motivating presentations, some games with prizes, and even a special guest speaker who will inspire you all in your leadership opportunities. It is through these activities and presentations that we hope to inspire you all to become empowered leaders who will make a difference today and in the days and years to come, no matter how old you are. So now let's take a look at the schedule today. So this is our agenda. So first of all, we're going to be having a presentation by Jill and Gabriel, the co-founders, about the Y4Y organization and its purpose. Next, we will have another presentation by Shane about the volunteer opportunities this organization has to offer. After that, we will be having a quick 5-minute break for you guys to get some water, stretch your legs before we start our raffle draw. Then after that, if we have time, we will play a icebreaker game, hopefully. And after that, I will be announcing the lucky raffle draw winner. And then that will be followed up by the presentation by our lovely guest speaker, Renzelle Mendoza. And lastly, we will have a Kahoot game on that very presentation, so be sure to pay attention. And that would be the end of our day one. So without further ado, let's commence the event. So first, before we start, I want to introduce you all to Gabe and Jill a little bit. From kindergarten to high school classrooms, Jillian Costello and Gabriel Piano played and learned together. They have been in parallel paths in their journey as students and friends, both in and out of the school. They are similar in that they are both hard-working students that have earned their academic honors throughout their high school years, as well as participating in the performing arts. Jill is a member of the school's chamber and jazz choir, and Gabriel is the trumpet player in the concert and jazz bands. They also pursue different interests in school as well. Jill is a new member of the student council, while Gabriel plays for the school basketball team. During this pandemic, they found themselves an opportunity against the turmoil and uncertainty that was brought about by the effects of the economic shutdown. Both teams took the chance to take on an experiential education offered by the Lever Foundation through their Young Educators and Leaders program. This program offers learnings in the theories of education, a peek into the world of work, and practical application of these through community service. They underwent 320 hours of studies, volunteer work, and work experience to come out as youth individuals ready to undertake the opportunities available to them and create them to give back to what they have learned. And they did just that. Now, in their grade 12 year, Jillian Castillo and Gabriel Piano, inspired by the learnings of this program and by Lever Foundation's mission, will introduce you to the startup of the not-for-profit organization called Y4Y Mentorship Society in the forthcoming mini junior conference on August 11th and 12th, which is today and tomorrow, and the mini senior conference on August 18th and 19th. They hope to empower the youth through leadership and community service by providing a learning environment that will provide through mentorship. So now let's hear a bit from the co-founders and Gabe and Jill about the purpose of Y4Y. So over to you two.
All right, I'll just share my screen. Can you guys see my presentation?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. on behalf of everyone in the Y4Y Society, we're so happy that you guys are able to make it to our very first mini junior leadership conference today. In this segment, let us introduce you to our startup not-for-profit organization called Y4Y. As Courtney said, and in the midst of the pandemic, Gabe and I underwent an intensive training called the Young Educators and Leaders program through the Lever Foundation, which is where we learned a lot of our leadership skills and abilities. And this was delivered by the Western Community College, a 320-hour or 16-week experiential learning funded by the Employment and Skills Development of Canada.
Yeah, so in the program, we had 320 hours of theory, seminars, work experiences, and community service. We did all these alongside our grade 11 courses and other school activities. It was not easy, but we gained valuable learnings and experiences. But we hope to give back to get others to experience the things we learned through our mentors at Lever Foundation. Thus, we created Y4Y, a not-for-profit organization founded and run by youths like us. Our main mission is to empower the youth through engaging in leadership and community service. Our organization is dedicated to advancing education by providing student services such as peer tutoring and public scholarships and bursaries. To put it simply, we're here to help you on your academic and teen life journey.
So for our methodology, we're using a virtual setting to complement in-person peer tutorials and mentorship sessions to kind of reach out to more students who are unable to physically attend their sessions due to time and transportation reasons. And we saw a need for this, and especially during the onset of the pandemic, our way of learning had been redefined. There is now a wider need for innovative forms of learning, and we at Y4Y Mentorship Society hope to deliver that.
So these are a couple of our programs within our organization. In each program, we have events that support it. You will see that in the next slides, the events that happened / are still happening for this summer. So we have our Arts for Good program. It already happened in July, and then it was a 45-minute virtual session that was led by Angela Lee and Kim Chua. They're both members of our organization, and we'll be having another one in August if you guys would like to sign up for it. And we also had the Basketball for Good program, which I helped lead with Zach Oy and Gio Piano. Gio Piano is my brother, and Zach Oy is a friend of his. We led these basketball sessions at St. Francis Sales Elementary School.
So currently our reading program is still ongoing and it's called Reading for Good. It is held by Gio Piano as well, who started an after school reading program in his school, SFDS, last year. He creates fun Kahoot games after each reading that strengthens comprehension skills for children participating in his sessions. So if you'd like to create a session of your own, volunteer with us and we will train you how to do it. We also
we also have the leadership programs.
You have peer tutoring.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to the summer events, we also have peer tutoring, which is available in the fall, so it hasn't been launched yet. And this program will help in strengthening the academic skills of our students who find that they need additional help with some of the subjects that they're struggling with. And then we'll also have the leadership development programs, where youth volunteers will hold webinars on various leadership topics to hone your leadership skills. So again, if you are interested in any of the programs on the screen that we've just presented to you, you can for sure sign up on our website. So now our team consists of 6 very well-rounded youth individuals who you will get to know better throughout this conference. So as said earlier, I'm Jill, a co-founder and director of programs, and I'm the co-founder alongside Gabe. So now we're going to get into our management team. So first, let's introduce Shane, or Charlene. This is Charlene Facoon. Say hi. So this is Shane. I'm not sure if you can see her right now, but Charlene is heading into the 12th grade with many volunteer experience that she was able to partake in. And in Y4Y, she is the director of volunteers. She is also a leader in Couples for Christ Youth. And not only does she help lead, but she also takes time to read weekly to young students in elementary school. Next, we have the director of marketing, which is Chelsea Yang. So wave hi to Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea. So Chelsea will be going into her senior year of high school at St. Thomas More as well. She is a recurring member of the school student council, and she plays different sports such as basketball, volleyball, but she loves soccer the most, as this is where she competes at a very high advanced level. She also enjoys playing the violin and is a small business owner. Her business creates handmade cards in which 100% of the proceeds go to a charity.
Okay, and next up we have Jonas Torres, the director of IT. Want to wave hi, Jonas? Yep. Jonas, along with a multitude of directors, will be going into his senior year of high school at St. Thomas More. He enjoys volunteering in his community, reading, and is also a cello player. Now we have Madison Diazes, our director of research and grant writing. Want to wave hi? Madison will be entering her senior year of high school at STMC, starting in September. She loves to debate and write, and will actually be channeling these strengths through leading her school debate team, and even holding a co-editor-in-chief position for a potential school newspaper this school year. She loves to sing and is a soprano section leader for her school's chamber choir. In her free time, she loves to volunteer, play piano, and crochet. Now we have the man who's mostly working behind the scenes today, the director of events, Ryan White. Want to say hi, Ryan? Ryan is going into his last year as well in high school, and will be taking up IB programs in Delta Secondary School, and is a person who strives for excellence in all of his activities. He hopes to make a positive impact in his community and better the education and leadership of today's youth for better opportunities as they grow. Lastly, the newest addition to our team is Kimmy Chua. Want to say hi, Kimmy? Kimmy is an incoming grade 9 student. She loves art, enjoys volleyball, roller skating, and traveling. I am a supporter of the Light the Night for blood cancer. Team Chua since 2014 and raises funds to help those affected by the disease. She loves learning and using what she knows to give back to the community.
So to retrieve all the information that we have just given to you and more, please visit our website, which is on the screen. And once again, we would like to thank all of you for coming to our first ever Junior Leadership Conference. It really means a lot to us. And we want to give a really big thank you to those who have made this conference and everything up to this point possible. So some shout outs to Ryan, the director of events, and Jonas, our director of IT, the parents behind the scenes that have helped us set up the events, the guest speakers, and the other directors who will be leading the various activities throughout this Day 2 conference. We really hope that we will be giving you guys some awesome skills about leadership that you can use in the future, as well as instilled in on you some confidence that you are going to be some great leaders and partake in as many community events as you can. So again, thank you so much for attending, and we hope to see you all in later events. So take care and go make a change. So we're gonna go back to Courtney now.
Thank you, Jill and Gabe, for that lovely introduction. I am going to hand it over to Shane, who will be giving us some insight into volunteering with our organization. So over to you, Shane.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charlene, but most people call me Shane. So I have a question for you guys. How many times have you been stumped on finding service hours or even points or finding ways to help your community? When the new school year arrives, most of you would probably need to start serving your community or gain hours and points. I have a great opportunity for all you guys, and it doesn't take most of your time too. So just in under an hour, you're able to have a reading session after school. And you're probably wondering what that is. Basically, you'll be volunteering to read to kids. Reading to kids is very beneficial as it helps them grow and keep them off their electronic devices as well. And not only can you gain service points or hours, but you can also enjoy it as well. It's really simple. You'll get together on this website called Epic, and you can share a book suited for the younger ones and that you'll be reading to. You can ask them questions to keep them engaged, and at the end, you can host a quick Kahoot game for them to enjoy as well. So see, easy as that. And your service comes from the effort you put into making the Kahoot games and the questions and even the actual reading session. And don't worry if you have no experience. I'll also have training sessions to give you guys tips and tricks to read to the children while keeping them engaged. So if reading to kids isn't something for you, we also offer other volunteering opportunities. If you guys excel or are confident in your abilities towards academics, then this can suit you guys instead. This is a 20-minute one-to-one session offered to students who would like to seek help and directions on academic success. Help should always be available and accessible to those who seek it. And just another reminder, if you are interested and would like to buy anyone, it's all free with no charge. So we'll actually have a raffle draw for those who want to sign up and help out with the programs. You can access the website, Y4YSociety.org, or even email me for any other questions. I hope this encourages you guys to join. And by the way, we have a raffle draw and it has really cool prizes if you guys sign up by tonight. And let me just show you guys how to sign up. First, you'll access the website, Y4YSociety.org, and you will end up on this home screen right on the farthest left of the picture. And you guys can click on the 3 lines. And once you click on that, you'll go to this next page where you can click on the Contact Us section as well. And once you head up on the Contact Us page, you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there'll be a little section right there and it says, I want to volunteer. And once you press that, you'll end up on the volunteer form. So like I said, if you guys fill up this volunteer form by tonight, you guys will be ending up in a raffle draw that might win you some cool prizes, maybe some $10 gift cards. I don't know. We'll see. So thanks for listening, you guys, and I hope you'll think about it. No pressure at all. And back to you, Courtney. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Shane, for that lovely insight. Again, if you are interested in working as a volunteer, be sure to head over to our website and read about all the events we have coming up, as well as contact Shane if you have any questions.
Probably start off with everyone introducing themselves. So I'm Gabriel Piano. I'm the co-founder and director of programs. Anyone want to go next? Kim, you wanna introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Kimmy. I've volunteered here before. I recently did the Arts for Good program.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
Joaquin.
My name is Joaquin. I also volunteered for the reading thing that Gio Piano did.
And last but not least is Natalie.
I'm Natalie. I haven't volunteered in anything so far, but I'll consider it, I guess.
All right. Okay, so I do have a few questions for you guys. Let me just pull them up really quickly. So, what is your guys' favorite food?
I have a lot of favorite foods.
A lot. Okay, you want to tell us a couple of them?
Okay, I like rice, sushi, spaghetti, mac and cheese, just a lot of things in general.
Lots of things. What about you, Joaquin?
I actually don't have one because like, I basically eat anything except for like seafood. So I don't really have a favorite.
Yeah, I'm a similar thing. I'll eat anything except for vegetables. What about you, Kim? Do you have a favorite food?
I don't have a favorite food. I'm not really that picky. Kenzo, what's your favorite food?
Yeah, you can answer if you have a favorite food.
He wants to pass.
Okay. Um, let's see. Who who would you say is the biggest leader in your life? Like, who would you look up to?
Pardon?
Anyone want to go first?
For me, role models or leaders in my life are like my parents, my friends, because they show you what you need to do in life to be successful, and overall are great leaders in your life, role models.
All right, that sounds good. Natalie, do you have anybody?
I'd say my cousins and friends. Also, I don't know if this would count, but I guess like some fictional characters that aren't true.
All right.
Yeah.
Kimmy, do you have anybody?
Probably the biggest leader in my life would be my parents.
All right. Do you have a reason, or you just parents are
I don't
parents?
know. Yeah.
Parents are all right. And all the leaders that you guys have in your lives, what's one trait like you notice in them that like you want to also have as one of your traits as well? This one might be a little bit hard, so I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. But if you have an answer, you can just say it whenever.
Okay, for me, it's selflessness because obviously your parents will kind of like give up all their time and money to care for you, like give you good education, pay for you, get, have a, bring you to a good school. So yeah, selflessness.
Anyone else have an answer?
For me, the trait that I really like the most is just like they just seem like they have all their things together. Like they have their life together. They have like they're just really well organized people, and I'm trying to be like that.
Kimmy, you have an answer?
My mom would be one of my leaders, and she's very outgoing, and she thinks about other people before herself a lot. Yeah.
All right. So like you can see from the other people, all of you had different answers. So one was selflessness, one was organization, and the other one was outgoing. Those are like three very important um aspects to becoming a leader. Like um without you can obviously be a leader without one of those, but you can't be a good leader without all three of them, right? So I hope today you can learn a couple things about how to develop those things and like how you can become become a better leader with those. And then so I have a couple more questions, just like not as um deep questions. So like these will just be like chill answers so that we get to know each other a little bit better. So do you guys have a favorite movie slash TV series?
No.
No?
Recently, I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I know that's not good, but I've like burned through like 3 sitcoms already. And right now, I'm kind of watching a new one. I actually started today. It's called Superstore. So I guess that's my favorite show at the moment.
Kimmy, what about you?
I don't have one right now, but Kenzo said that he really likes the TV show Teen Titans.
Yeah, Teen Titans. All right. My favorite one is probably Naruto. It's an anime. It's really good. Um, is there any place you want to travel to, or you've already been to, and like it would be your favorite?
I really want to go to Europe.
Anywhere
I
specific?
really want to go to Europe for some reason.
You
I
have a
don't know.
specific place, or just Europe in general?
Specific place. Not really.
No.
No.
What about you, Natalie?
I want to go to Japan and also some other like places in Asia. Not really like a Europe person. I prefer Asia a lot more than Europe.
Okay. Kimmy and Kenzo.
Um, I would also want to go to Europe because I was supposed to go, but since COVID, I couldn't. And where do you want to go? He's shy. He would like to pass.
Okay.
Where do you want to go? Yeah, he'd like to pass.
Okay. Do you have a favorite childhood memory that you would like to tell us? Like a cool story? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about this one as well. I know this one might take a while. I can start it off. Was it when I was in grade 7? Uh, I was playing in a basketball tournament and we were like down by 20 at halftime, and then we were able to claw back up to the very end, and we ended up winning the game. It was really cool because like still to this day, I still really love to play basketball, and that comeback in the finals was one of the best memories I had. Um, do you guys have any stories?
I don't have a specific favorite memory on the top of my head right now.
Not right now.
Yeah, same here.
Same thing. Kim, you have one?
Me and my brother said that his favorite memory was going to Japan with our family.
Oh, that sounds cool. You guys do anything there?
We ate a lot and went to 7-Eleven.
Oh, I know there's 7-Eleven. There's like a lot cheaper and better than here.
Oh yeah, their food there is like way better.
Okay. Let's see. Do you guys have a favorite artist? Like music. Favorite artist from music.
I don't have a favorite artist.
No. What about Natalie? Do you have a favorite artist?
Like music wise?
Yeah.
No, not really.
No. What about Kimi? Do you have a favorite artist?
No.
No? Mine right now is Bruno Mars, who's like consistently coming out with new music. But if you don't have a favorite artist, do you have a favorite song though? Anyone can go. Um, okay. Favorite song for me right now would probably be "Take Me Away" by I forgot the guy's name. Daniel Caesar.
Should we go back to the main room or
Oh
stay
yeah,
here? Because it's asking me.
yeah. We can all go back to the main room right now.
Okay.
Progress.
So now we will be spinning for the winners since we think that everybody is out of those breakout rooms now. So thank you guys for being patient with us. We will be going into the spinning wheel. And congratulations.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, good job. You won our $15 Amazon gift card. And now we will be going into the guest speaker's presentation, Renzelle Mendoza. So if we could go back to there we go. So before we start, I would like to just have a quick little introduction on Renzelle. So, Renzelle Mendoza is in her final year at the UBC Sauder School of Business and is completing her bachelor's of commerce. She's also worked at Procter & Gamble, Shopify, and Canadian Tire. Renzelle has held associate vice president and chairperson roles at the UBC Commerce Undergraduate Society, the largest business undergraduate society in Canada, volunteered at and led at 14 clubs/services, and has represented UBC at international business competitions. During her time at STMC, she was a part of the student council, captain of the curling and dragon boat teams, soup kitchen helper, ski and snowboard club, open house tour guide, 12th Avenue breakfast program helper, dinner club, morning announcements, dance committee, grade 8, 11, 12 retreat leader, and was an international Japanese guide. And after spending almost a decade in volunteer opportunity roles in athletics, academics, and communities across the Lower Mainland, Renzelle knows that anyone can be a leader at any age. She believes that finding the intersection between passions and service is the linchpin to success. Renzelle is now going to start her presentation. So, after this introduction, the stage is yours, Renzelle.
Thank you so much. How can I share my screen? Can someone, whoever is the host, please enable screen sharing for me? Hello, everyone. Great to be here.
Did I came late? I just came in just now.
That's okay. You haven't missed too much. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, we
Yes.
can. You can go ahead.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Amazing. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today to speak to each and every one of you because I know that you are going to be the future leaders of our world. I also want to say thank you to all of the participants for choosing to be here today. I know it's really hot. You could be outside doing other things, but instead you're choosing to be here today on your path to becoming a leader. I also know that you should probably pay attention because there are more sweet prizes to be held as there are going to be a Kahoot game. So today I'll be talking with you about leadership and the relationship with that for motivation. How do you motivate yourself to lead? As I'm talking, feel free to jot down any questions, put it in the chat. I'll be able to see it pop up, or Jillian or one of the leadership people just interrupt me if someone has a question and I didn't see. And today we're going to be exercising. No one actually, oh my gosh, all of your faces suddenly dropped. No one said anything but exercising. Yes, tiny bit of exercising. We're going to be exercising our fingers. You're going to stretch all the way to the keyboard and type into the chat if you have any questions or any comments. So with that in mind, I just want to say hello. My name again is Renzelle. Thank you, Courtney, for that a really great introduction. And I am here because once upon a time, I was just like you. It's a little bit about me. Like Courtney said, I'm in my final year at UBC Sauder. I currently work for Procter & Gamble, and people don't really know what Procter & Gamble is, but it's the people who made Tide Pods. Please don't eat them. I feel like I have to keep saying that, but just in case, please don't eat them. And like she said, I spent a lot of time working with youth. I got to volunteer at Pathfinder Youth Center Society, where you work with at-risk youth. And that picture in the bottom right corner is my really awesome tree fort. I was a camp counselor for ALS Society of BC, the people who made the Ice Bucket Challenge. And it's been a great pleasure talking to you here today. So as she mentioned, by the time I graduated high school, when I was 18, that's me at 18, that's literally the day I graduated, I had been the leader of 14 clubs and services. She listed off a whole bunch, was not expecting it, but yearbook, announcement, green team, dance team, and I was the captain of 2 sports. And by my final year, I had over 1,000 hours of service hours. That was a lot. And whenever I say that and you see that, people always get impressed. They're like, oh my goodness, like they pat me on the back and they always ask, how did you do that when you were just from the ages of 13 to 18? But the truth is, it really honestly wasn't like that. It wasn't always like that. Once upon a time, I was your age. I was 13. I'm really exposing myself right now. Those are pictures from my very first week at STM. I know I was really cute back then. I had the double combo because glasses and braces. And, once upon a time, before I was captain of 2 sports and doing all these 14 clubs and services, I was just like you. I was 13 years old. And when I was 13 years old, I was really awkward. I was confused. Literally that emoji right there where it's like that little sad face, that face every time someone tried to talk to me because I was really shy and I didn't want to talk to anyone. And I didn't even want to think about leadership. I was so worried about trying to fit into high school, buying school supplies, trying to make friends. And the last thing on my mind was leadership. And when you thought about motivating me to do any leadership opportunities, those 2 emojis perfectly described it right there. I wanted to nap and I wanted to sleep, preferably hide under my bed. And it wasn't even a slight inclination. And when I was 13, if you decided that you wanted to be a leader, when you Google it, this is what comes up. Just take a moment, take a look on the left-hand side, see any patterns. It's a bunch of old people, lots and lots of old people. I didn't see a single person there under the age of, I wish I could say 20. No, 30, probably not. These were all old people. They were presidents, they were Nobel Prize leaders. And like if you see on the second image, it's Oprah. So I was 13 years old and you're 13 and you're thinking, how am I supposed to be a leader like Oprah? So I had that like Jackie Chan meme, like, why? How could I be a leader at 13? And that entire thing that you see up there is very demotivating. I just literally wanted to yeet myself out of even the thoughts of being a leader because I thought I had to serve global warming. I thought I had to go solve world hunger. But this brings us to the very first lesson I want you to take. Start small. You don't need to invent the iPhone to be a leader. And that's something I didn't know when I was 13. I thought you had to go solve world hunger, find the cure for cancer, and all of those things. And starting small is probably the first thing. If anything, you ignore all the other lessons I tell you today. Starting small is probably the easiest one. So start small, but start. That's the important thing, that you just start. It's really hard to motivate yourself if you wake up one day and you say, I want to serve world peace. That's a huge, 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 huge undertaking. And it's a lot. And then you realize, hey, I'm 13 years old. I don't know if I can actually do anything yet. But it's 10 times easier if you start small. And it can be as simple as raising your hand during class. And you're thinking like, haha, raising your hand, like that doesn't really do anything. Raising your hand is actually more nerve-wracking. Oh, something there. And raising your hand is actually more nerve-wracking for high school students and people your age. And it's teaching yourself to how to take a risk. You're showing initiative and you're asking questions and you're okay with getting things wrong whenever you raise your hand. And those are small, tiny little skills that help make you be a better leader. And you're also learning how to use your own voice, because for the first 13 to 12 years of your life, you're probably just listening to whatever your parents say. And high school is sort of that time where you're saying, you're making a stand for yourself and you're saying, I want to do this. But it's really, really hard to do that all at once. So starting small is the key. And you can do so also by joining a club. Let's say you like, planting gardens. You can join the green team in your grade 8 year and then sort of build that up and hopefully become the leader when you hit your grade 12 year. You can go volunteer, like what all the other youth members do today. They gave you so many different opportunities where you can start reading to kids, and small, tiny, tiny steps like that can help build you up. And it really does build up. So one day I raised up my hand in class and asked, hey, like, global warming is an actual thing. Why aren't we doing anything about it? And that was in my science grade 8 class. Then my teacher didn't actually really have an answer. She's talked about global warming is a thing, but at STM, we weren't doing anything. So then I talked to my best friend next to me. I said, hey, we should do something. And that led to another conversation where we asked our teachers, hey, is there any club that we could join? Turns out there was a green team, and I joined that in my grade 8 year. And I kept joining it in my grade 8 year, my grade 9 year. And by the time I hit grade 11 and 12, they actually gave me the opportunity to lead green team. And that never would have happened if I never raised my hand in that one grade 8 class that started everything at all. And I know what you're thinking, like that small green team, not really that impressive. But there are actually lots of other world leaders, youth leaders, that have done tiny, tiny little steps. So that's the part where I hope you guys can type. So these are 3 examples of youth leaders that started small and they weren't even 20 yet. So Jackil Jackson, he helped his aunt one day distribute food at a local homeless shelter in Chicago. Can you guess? Can anyone guess? Even the leaders, hopefully one of you guys decide to type, or you can go off mute. Guess how old he was when he decided to do that. Anyone brave enough to come off mute? Or feel free to type it in. Oh, I see it now. 12, 11, 10. Really close. No one's hitting it yet. 9. I saw Darius. Yes. And Mira, 9.
I got that?
Yeah, you got it. He was in fact 9 years old. He was 9 years old when he went out and helped his aunt. And from that one tiny afternoon, he then started the charity Blessing Bags, where he made full bags full of snacks and toiletries and towels. And over the course of the year, he's donated over to 3,000 homeless people. And he was only 9. He was probably younger than most of you in this conversation. Another guess. We have Justin LaChapelle. So he loves Lego. I love Lego. I actually have a little Lego set right here, Mandalorian, shout out Star Wars. He created a Lego prototype for a robotic hand out of Legos. Can anyone guess how old he was when he did that? He looks kind of older in this photo, like maybe 1 or 2 years older. 12. Yes, Shane. 15. He was only 15. So he was only 15 when he first made that prototype. But now, because he started playing with and tinkering with Lego, he found a way to make more prototype Lego hands and actually makes prosthetic Lego hands for children who can't afford them. So normally prosthetics cost about $80,000. That's like that's like 3 cars. That's the cost of 3 cars or 2 really fancy cars. And he was able to do that out of Lego at just 15 years old. Okay. For the money, for the very, very last one, we have Michaela Omer. So she's one of my favorites. So she started literally the thing that you hear in movies with a lemonade stand. She started a lemonade stand after learning how badly the bees were being affected, because as I don't know if you guys know, but bees are having a really hard time right now finding flowers and pollination. So she decided to start literally a neighborhood lemonade stand and to raise money for the bees. Can anyone guess how old she was when she first started that? Oh, go younger. Go even younger. Yeah. Oh, Mira, she hit it. She was only 4 years old when she did that, and she was 12 years old so she did it for a couple years. She started her first lemonade stand when she was 4. And the time that she was 12 years old, she was making local honey that was selling at Whole Foods. And all of the proceeds went to the bees. So it just goes to show that the first image that I showed you like a couple slides back, and it was all of these like 40-year-old people, you don't have to be 40 years old saving world peace. And all of these 3 individuals started really, really small. Something that you could do. You could go volunteer at a homeless shelter. I bet you have Lego in your backyard and everyone knows how to make lemonade. So all these tiny things, you can do it. So for our second lesson, I want you to find what you love. Don't force yourself. Motivating yourself to be a leader, to actually get up and lead, is so much easier when you're doing what you love. There's a really good quote: "Do what you love and you'll always love what you do," by Billy Joel. And I want you to keep that in the back of your head as we go to the next story. So does anyone here like to do chores? You can type in the chat. If you say yes, I'll be very surprised. Be honest. Yes, no, good job. My cousins are on the call, and if you say no, I will tell your parents. Just kidding. I promise I won't tell your parents, because you just have to be honest. Because I'm an adult, technically an adult. I hate doing chores. The number one thing I hate doing is dishes. I will let it sit for literally a week, and I will look at it, and I will procrastinate. I won't do it. And I'll actually do other chores like laundry and vacuuming before I even touch the dishes, because I hate doing the dishes. And when I end up doing the dishes, what I'll do is I'll like scrub one plate, kind of half do it, and then put it back. And it's just not a good time. And I'll do a half effort. And that is exactly what will happen if you force yourself to be a leader for something you don't like. Motivating yourself to be a leader so much easier when you actually end up doing something that you love. You can actually have best of both worlds. Now, I'm not saying to try to do anything and then after the first 3 days, if you hate it, you suddenly give up. No. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that if you happen to really love something and you want to be a leader, if you find some sort of intersection between those two, it's so much easier. So for example, let's say like you want to be the leader of a really random thing, like the leader of the kite club. I don't actually know if there's a kite club, perhaps there is. But you hate being outside, you hate kites. Why are you making it so much worse for yourself? So try to find what you love. It can literally be anything. And I have seen people do the coolest things. It can be as simple as, for example, that first picture reading to kindergartners. Or I have seen someone be a tutor for Fortnite for senior citizens. There are actual senior citizens tutoring for Fortnite. I think that is the most adorable thing on this planet. I love BTS. And you could literally also be the leader of their fan club, which spends almost 80% of their time volunteering to the community. You could, if you love football, you could be the captain of the football team at STM. There's also a robotics team. You could potentially lead that too. Yes, Mary Grace, BTS, Saranghae, love BTS. So for me, as an example, I really love social media. That sounds really self-absorbed, but I love scrolling on TikTok and I love going on Instagram. So because I love that, I did my best to try and become the leader of something remotely close to that. And turns out there was a position to be the leader of social media for my school. So I got to go on tours. I got to go to concerts for We Day, which was a volunteer, and I got to meet lots of celebrities so long as I took a lot of pictures and posted on social media on behalf of my school. And it was hard work because I had to learn how to operate a camera. I had to memorize who was on that channel. I had to plan social media outings. You just don't post it. But I woke up every single day at 8 a.m. for those meetings. And I spent so many hours in Photoshop trying to learn how to do it. And I never complained. Why? Because I loved it. So you might end up doing something that might actually be 10 times harder than studying for school. But because you love it, you don't care because it's something that you are actually wanting to do. So my third and final lesson is ask for help. You're never alone. A lot of the time when I was, in grade 8 or grade 9, even in grade 7 starting out, I really wanted to prove myself to my parents that I could do it. I wanted to show, hey, I don't need your help. Like, I'm a big girl, like I'm 13 and totally like I could cross the street now. There were so many things I could do. Technically, I could get a job, and I didn't want to ask any help because I wanted to prove to absolutely everyone that I could do it on my own. But being a leader doesn't mean you're by yourself. So does anyone know what this picture is of? It's kind of blurry, sorry, and like the logo is 2 bits, but try to guess. It's okay if you don't know. It is not the YouTube conference. Yes, Courtney, it's United Nations. Also, love your emoji. I also have this face. It's really hard to tell. It is the United Nations. So if you don't know, the United Nations is when all of the entire world's leaders from every single country come together and literally talk. They talk about politics, they talk about science, how to basically make sure the world doesn't explode tomorrow and we're all having a good time. And those are literally the world's leaders. And they all come together. They're not by themselves in their office. They're not by themselves like doing it all alone because they realize that you have to work with a lot of different people because a lot of different people have different ideas and have different passions and they have so many things to offer. And they know that you don't have to do it alone. So why should you at 13 to 12 years old also do it alone? This is also one of the best ways to avoid burnout. So when you first start trying to lead something, it can get really overwhelming because you're trying to do 112 tasks at once. You're trying to handle the social media things, which by the way, everyone who handled this conference, stellar job. See, it's not one person running this. It's closer to 10. When you spread out all the work and you talk to a bunch of different people, you're not trying to take on the whole universe. So having a team, you can lean on one another. You can ask your teachers. And I know you don't want to ask your parents for help all the time, but you can still ask your parents for help. You can talk to people like me, or talk to for this lovely group of people who have organized this conference. Ask them, because they have also other experiences, and it can make your whole journey into leading something so much easier, and it's so much more motivating. So when you fail, eventually, if you don't fail as hard, and they can tell you hey, the thing that you think you messed up, it actually wasn't as bad as you think. The best types of leaders know when to lean on other people. And that's something I wish when I was 13 years old learned, because I would have been so much more happier knowing that I could ask for help. So what now? So remember, these are your 3 lessons. 1, start small. September is coming and you're going back to school, and if you hate public speaking or talking in class, challenge yourself to say, hey, at least once a week, I'm going to volunteer for something, whether that's holding the door or raising my hand up in class. Secondly, find what you love. After our conversation today, literally take out a piece of paper and write down everything that you like to do. It could be making rice, something as small as that, running, soccer, karate, you like birds. Find what you love, and then look for opportunities where maybe next year or even 1 month from now that you could lead. And if it doesn't exist, make plans, but find what you love. And finally, ask for help. Like I mentioned, there's so many resources out there. Google is your best friend, but so are all of the people here today in this conversation. Talk to each other, because they are your best resources for the future. I just want to end this with saying you are our future leaders, every single one of you, and you have the capabilities of doing so many things. Yes, Carlos. Hey, Roblox. You can start a new Roblox hub, softball, Minecraft. I love it. You could literally lead all of those things, maybe a week from now, a month from now, 3 years from now, who knows? But you have so much potential, and I believe in each and every one of you. And I just want to say thank you so much for Youth Mentorship Society for inviting me here to talk. And thank you all for being a really great and participative audience. I love the chats. You're so much better than my students in university. Sometimes they say nothing, and then it's an awkward time where I'm just looking at it, wondering if anyone will say anything. So that's the end of my presentation. And if you have any questions, let me know. Oopsies, stop sharing my screen. Yeah. Yes, so many. And I'll pass the baton back. Ooh, I'm getting actual questions. Okay. Oh, the chat disappeared. I saw a question pop up. I will go back to it. What are the benefits of leading all of those volunteer opportunities and work for you? Okay, so at first when I was in grade 8 and I started volunteering for all of those things, I wanted to do it because I wanted to get more leadership experience before I got into university, because I knew that getting into university was really hard. And that felt like a really superficial reason, but as I went through it, a lot of the places that I volunteered at was giving back to my community, whether it was younger students or just the greater community in general. And when you help particularly the community, it makes you feel so much better, because you're offering a piece of yourself to someone else. And I don't know how to explain the feeling, but you get a lot of gratification, and you also get a lot of skills out of it. And that were sort of like the best opportunities and the benefits that I got. And everything sort of ladders with each other. So many, for example, like yearbook, I never thought yearbook would actually help me get me my job today. And you don't know what you do at first and then how you can apply that to the future. Yeah. Great question. You like golf? Cool. I like the smile. Okay, the emojis that everyone has been sending, I feel as though I haven't explored all the options yet. So you're giving me lots of good feedback. But thank you so much. And if there's no more other questions, I can pass. Oh, just kidding. There's another one. How did you find inspiration to become a leader? So great question. As I mentioned from like the first couple of slides with the 40-year-olds, that was not that inspiring to me because I thought I had to be old. So when I was in grade 7, there was something called We Day. And I don't know if it still happens now, but We Day was a time where they invite all of the elementary school students from the lower mainland to attend this concert. And there were really cool people there, like Nick Jonas and like Shawn Mendes and a whole bunch of celebrities who said like, oh, like if you volunteer, you can have a great impact. And I got to, aside from the celebrities, a lot of the youth leaders of that time actually came up on stage and explained their different stories. So for example, Craig Kilberger, he woke up like one morning and found out that there was a lot of malaria going around, and he was only 14 at the time, and he actually went up and spoke to me, and I was probably 12 or 11, and hearing the fact that he started his own charity at just 14, I was inspiring. So I had to listen and find out from other people about other youth in their age before I got really inspired. So when you Google, search for young leaders, young impactful leaders, and read their stories, and that's how you can go set off the world. Courtney, is there specific people in your life that pushed and inspired you to become a reader? Who are some of your role models? I think this is a cop-out, but it's my mom. My mom was a really big influence. She said every time I failed, she would always push me to be even better, which is why I tell you to tell your parents that you want to be inspired to do something. Also, there's a lot in this meeting. Who are some of your role models? As of right now, that's a really good question. I'm really inspired by people who, like for example, Oprah, who was self-made, and she faced a lot of racism early in her career as a news anchor, and then she pivoted that into doing her own show. And despite the adversity that she faced, she's one of the richest women in this planet. But not only is she one of the richest women, she spends a good chunk of her time on charity work, and I think that's sort of the best ways that you can handle life. I also really like the CEO of Shopify. He's very, very humble, and now every single website on the planet is under Shopify, and he spends all of his time, almost like 80 to 90% of his time, giving back to his community. With all those volunteer activities and schoolwork, how did you manage time? Please give us tips. So I didn't do all 14 in one whole year. What I ended up doing in grade 8 was trying from grade 8 to grade 10, I tried a lot of different things. And then once you get to grade 11 to 12, you pick your top 5 things to do and make sure it's things you really like. That's why lesson 2 is important, because that's how you actually get motivated to do so. But like a concrete tip is to have a calendar. If you don't have a planner right now, please get one. Even just in general for school, it's a good habit to form, and you don't want to have burnout. So you pull out either a physical calendar or online. I use Apple Calendar, and I block out my day for school, then I block out the day for homework, and then I block out the time it takes for all my clubs and activities. And if you're seeing that there is no free time at all in the week, that means you probably need to drop something or adjust. And you won't know that until you physically block out all of the time. And that will happen for all of you senior leaders on the call for university as well. So you have to be very selective. And the second thing that I actually started to do is that when you block out time, block out me time. Literally block out 1 or 2 hours during your week where you do nothing except something for yourself, because you don't want 12 to 8 hours of your day just doing school and your club, and you have no time to relax, because that's the fastest way you get really overwhelmed. Do you have in politics and law? I actually wanted to go into law school, but that's still in the table. For politics and law, there used to be a program, I think Canada still does it, where I forgot what it was called, but Canada has this grant where they send kids from the different provinces. Oh, it's called Encounters with Canada. I suddenly remembered what it was called. And they send you to Ottawa for 1 whole week, and they have this politics and law week, literally what you want, politics and law week, and you get to visit Parliament in Ottawa, have good conversations, and you get to meet members of Parliament while you're in Ottawa, and those are for high school students. So anyone from grade 12 or less can attend, and I think that's one of the things that you should sign up. There's probably other versions of that as well, but it's very good exposure. And then in terms specifically for law, talk to a law student. So how you get into law school is you first go from elementary to high school, and then you do a 4-year undergraduate degree, which is what I'm doing. Then after that, you go into law school. So there's a lot of steps in the way, and talking to someone who's currently in law school is probably the best bet. And if you don't know anyone in law, ask an adult who probably knows someone. So you can message me after, and I can send you to talk to an actual law student if you want. I think that's all of the questions. Just kidding. How do you keep yourself motivated, especially when things go wrong, when obstacles and conflicts occur in your work? It's really hard. I'm not going to lie. And as you get older, it's sometimes you just sit, and then things hit the ceiling and things explode and you have no control. So always take a deep breath and realize that it's already happened. There's no point in crying. You're allowed to also cry. There's many times I cried where I was like, oh no. And it's going to happen. It's happened a million times to me as well. But you just need to sit and realize it already happened. Take a deep breath and take another one. Because when you're panicking, you're not making like good decisions in your brain. All you're thinking about is everything exploding. So stop, calm down, get your heart rate down. That way you can make a plan. And then sort of ask yourself, is it in my control? Because sometimes when things go wrong, there's nothing you could do. A hurricane could come into Vancouver and your whole event is shattered, and you realize there's actually nothing you can do. And if it's one of those cases, you should just sort of relax and then see what you can do for your next steps. If it's actually something within your control, try to find out what is a must-have versus a want. So what you have a list of must-haves, like this must happen and this must happen. Then you can prioritize those. And then you can approach the what-to-haves. And during this time, it's like particularly important that you're not keeping this all to yourself. I had that habit of keeping everything to myself. Like I would fail a math test. Oh my gosh, my cousin's on the call. Don't tell my dad that. I'd fail a math test, and then I would have to lead something the next day, and I would keep it to myself. Don't, because this is those crucial moments where you lean on your best friend, your mom, your teacher. No one knows just how explosive things are going on if you keep quiet. So those sort of are the two ways. Have you ever doubted yourself as a leader? All the time. Even now after all these years, sometimes I will get up in front and talk to someone and freak out and have like the hyperventilation and worry all the time. It's called oh my gosh, what's the word? Doubted yourself, like imposter syndrome. And it's something that you'll feel over and over again. Sometimes I'll achieve something and feel like it wasn't worth it. And that's how I feel at my current job. Sometimes I wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. And it's sort of, again, one of those things where you just have to talk to people and realize that, hey, you did all these wonderful things, and everyone has to start off somewhere. And it's just a conversation that you're going to have to wake up. And before I go do big speeches or do events, I like to look at myself in the mirror and I just scream, which sounds really insane, but it was actually a piece of advice that the CEO of Procter & Gamble told me, that sometimes you just have to look at yourself in the mirror and let all of those emotions out and then start, because it's all pent up in your body. What is Liam what is Liam interested in? Okay. Okay, I think that's all the questions, and I can pass the baton back.
We just have one more question from Mira, and it is, what is a saying / quote that kept you going in leadership?
A saying / quote. Oh, now that I had that quote. Here, actually, this is funny. So it's a sticky note on my desktop, so I'm not making this up. Life is a work in progress. And I that gets me going all the time whenever I feel bad, because it's progress. It doesn't mean that it ends somewhere. You continue to get better. So you might have a really bad day today, but it'll be better tomorrow. And if it's even better, even if it's worse tomorrow, it might get better the next day, because life is a work in progress. And you can't expect yourself to be at 100% when you're still loading. So that's one of the things that I have. I have a bunch of sticky notes on my desktop, but this one's my favorite one. I actually have no clue who said that, but maybe if you Google it, we'll find out who said that. Random human number 300.
Thank you again so much, Renzelle. All of your words have been extremely insightful and very inspiring. I honestly didn't think about a lot of the stuff that you were saying, especially with how to be a leader at such a young age. So thank you so much. As well, we'd also like to thank you for your generous donation to the organization. It will help us with all of our events in the future. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So without further ado, let's take a quick glance at the agenda today. So first, we'll start off with a seemingly simple question. What is leadership? That is the question around the first presentation by Jill, the co-founder of Y4Y, and Chelsea, the director of marketing. After that, we will have a short 5-minute break for you all to get some water, stretch, whatever you need to do. After we come back from that break, we will be playing a Kahoot based on Jill's presentation with Chelsea, which will be led by Jonas, the director of IT, where the lucky winner will be able to win an Amazon gift card. So make sure that you're listening carefully to what they have to say and perfect your score. But also remember, perfect comprehension is not only needed, but you also have to be very quick to answer with the correct answer. So good luck to all of you for that. And then after that, we will be playing a word cloud creation game that will be explained and overseen by Madison, the director of research and grant writing, and Chelsea, the director of volunteers. That will then be followed by a raffle draw presented by me for a chance to win another Amazon gift card. Finally, we will finish off with some closing remarks from the co-founders, Jill and Gabriel, and we will be presenting you guys with your certificates of your attendance. So now let's get into the first presentation. I will hand it over to Jill and Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen and then we can get started. So let me know when you can. Can you see it? Am I good?
I can't see it, Jill.
Oh, you can't see my screen?
No.
Okay. Let me try again. Good?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. So I'm Jill, and me and Chelsea are going to be talking to all of you guys about student leadership. What is leadership as a student in high school or going into high school. So without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, so first, before we get into exactly what student leadership is, we're going to talk about some famous leaders of the past. So first up, we have Nelson Mandela, and some of you may have known or heard of Nelson Mandela before, but he is most commonly known as the South African president, which involves being a leader. And so some of his leadership qualities included advocating for peace, forgiveness, positive thinking, humility, patience, and communication. And he helped lead and encourage the citizens of South Africa to do something about the oppression that was happening there. And so he was a dedicated advocate, and obviously all these good things that he did and the leader that he was led him to accept a Nobel Peace Prize.
So our next leader is Greta Thunberg, and she is a perfect representative of a youth leader. So Greta is known as a young environmental activist. By the age of only 16, she was able to ignite a fire within millions of individuals across the globe to initiate action for climate change. So one thing to know about Greta is that she was actually diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And Asperger's syndrome is a disorder that gives her difficulties when having social interactions with others. Although she did not let this disorder interfere with her passion to create action. She inspired the largest climate strike in history, testified before Congress, and addressed the United Nations. Greta was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for inspiring millions to march for climate change and standing up to leadership around the globe. So, what is a leader to you? Let's first find the definition. So, a leader is someone who guides other people by leading or commanding a group, organization, or country. And leadership is defined as the art of motivating a person or a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal.
And so the question we have for you guys is, how can we become great leaders? And we're going to explore this topic more as we go into this presentation.
So this presentation is actually supposed to be very interactive. So we have a lot of questions for you guys. So if anyone wants to unmute or type into the chat, then please feel free to do so. And we will definitely be looking at your answers and suggestions. So let's get on to the different areas.
So where can we actually express our leadership? And so we've come up with a few main areas where we can all show and practice our leadership skills. And so some of the areas include at school, at home, with others, and surprisingly, by ourselves.
So our first point is being a leader at school. What leadership opportunities can you take part in at school? So please feel free to type into the chat. We'll give a couple of minutes for you guys to come up with some answers before we actually review them. Chels, can you see the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, one from Gio saying student council, different clubs from Duretti.
Sports. These are all great points.
Team managers. Anything else you guys think You can express your leadership at school. Okay, I don't think anyone else has any more answers, so let's see what we have. So a lot of you guys said really similar things like student council and sports. So obviously having good sportsmanship, whether that's in gym class or in a sports team, you know, being nice to all your teammates and everything, being a leader on the court or field, and then willingly volunteering. So like putting up your hand in class, taking over one of your friends' like assignments if they need help, or like working well with them on a project. And finally, obviously being a role model for younger students. And you guys are entering the intermediate grades of elementary school. So obviously setting a good example for all the little kids, especially if you guys have buddy systems at school, you know, being a good role model for them and still make them look up to you. Okay, the second area where we can express our leadership is at home. And we want you guys to type in the chat, what leadership opportunities can you take part in at home? Don't be shy, just, you know, try. There's no wrong answers here.
Yep, Dorothy said being nice to your siblings. That's a good one. Doing chores. Yes, doing chores without being told. That's a great one. Can you come up with a few more maybe? Making the bed, yes. Doing your homework. That's a great one. More homework without being told. Okay.
Any last ones? Doing the laundry. Okay, a lot of chores.
Yeah. A lot of chores. Oh, that's a great.
I like that one, Mira.
Okay, let's see what me and Chelsea have come up with. So a lot of the very first one, I think it was Dorothy that said it, being a good role model for your younger siblings. So just like being at school and you're kind of like the older kids and there are people looking up to you, your siblings are also looking up to you because you are a representative of kind of what they want to be when they grow up. So being respectful to your parents or to any other relatives is a great way to kind of influence your siblings to become respectful people as well. And being responsible. So being responsible for yourself, taking care of yourself and everything like that can inspire your siblings and maybe even older siblings. It doesn't always have to be younger, actually, but just being a good influence for as many people as you can in the family. And then our second part was just the one that we've been bringing up the most is doing your part at home. So chores, a lot of you have named a lot of the chores. So we come up with like cleaning and taking care of pets, babysitting. You said laundry, dishes, making the bed, everything like that. And then our last one is being productive. So what me and Chelsea have come up with is that being a leader, you kind of have to, it's not, although it's easier to kind of just sit around and do nothing, it doesn't benefit you as much as being productive. So even if you think there's nothing to do at home, there was always something that you can do to work on yourself or to do for others at home in the comfort of your own room. So we're always trying to find ways to be productive in places where we think we can just rest, right? So on to our next point. So being a leader for others. this kind of means how can you lead in front of other people that aren't your family or at home? It could be strangers, it could be your friends. So again, same procedure. Please type in the chat any ideas you might have to be a leader for others. If you need any help, any of the directors can also type in the chat. Be a good influence.
Holding the door. Starting on foundation or club. Wow, yeah.
Great one.
Being caring and following the golden rule. Do what you like others.
Oops, sorry.
Nice.
Oops.
Helping the homeless. Standing up for people when they can't do it themselves.
Any more? Donating.
All good ones, guys. Okay, let's get a few more answers in. Help the injured. Give away money. Donating money, yes. Okay. I think that's pretty much really good, guys.
They're
I
all
love the participation.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into these answers. Being a leader for others, standing up for others. I know a bunch of people mentioned that, which is always a good thing to do, you know, stand up to the bully, even though it's always a hard thing to do. Being a good listener, which means being there for your friends whenever they need your help or advice. And that's also involves resolving conflict, you know, handling it very maturely. And the third one was volunteering and advocating, which a lot of you listed. So like examples, you guys said were donating money, donating clothes, you know, holding the door, starting your own club. All these things are really good ways of volunteering and advocating. So good job, guys. Let's move on to the fourth and final area we can be a leader in. So being a leader for yourself. Now, this is probably one of the most important ones because it's just like being a leader for yourself, and it kind of gives you that confidence that you can do it. So again, type in the chat, what leadership actions can you do for yourself? And give this one a hard thought because in my opinion, I think this one's probably the hardest one to come up with answers for. So definitely take time if you need.
Another way to look at it is kind of like, what are qualities or activities that you think you can do to help make you a better person?
Taking care of yourself, both mentally and physically. Working hard. Don't go too hard on yourself, yes. Be healthy, writing down your schedule beforehand. So, oh my gosh, a lot of answers, guys.
Yeah, these are a lot.
Writing down your schedule beforehand so you're ready for later. Think positive thoughts. Nice. Being kind to yourself even when you make mistakes. Avoid dangers. Exercise, yes. Working towards your goals. Very important. Stay calm. Avoid being sick. It's really good, guys.
Life will get better. Yeah.
Last few answers. Anyone else have anything to type? Last chance to get them in. Eat healthy. Yes, very important. Awesome. Okay, Jill, let's see these answers.
Answers. So what me and Chelsea put together are avoiding procrastination. So I saw someone put getting your own calendar. So that is a great way of being organized and efficient. I think it's really important to be organized so that you are on top of everything, and that it's harder for you to forget something when it's written down and kind of you have a physical copy in front of you. And being efficient. So always using your time wisely, making sure that you're not wasting time and that you are, again, organizing different times of your day to different things that you should be working on and prioritizing. And then the second one, this was mentioned a lot, prioritizing your health. So this counts for both physical and mental health. Making sure that you are treating your mind and your body well and safely, and prioritizing your relationships with other people. So the way that you guys have friendships with your friends, of course, and your relationships with your family members, those are important to your personal well-being. So making sure that those are beneficial for you and that you're not in any, bad friendships or toxic friendships or relationships with other people, and that these two all tie up to be the third point, which is being the best version of yourself. So that is all great ways of being leaders for yourselves. So now Chelsea and I are going to get into how we have become leaders during our years in high school. So I'm going to start off with choir. So not many of you may know, but ever since I was in grade 4, I might say, I've always been part of the choir. And choir has always been a huge part of my life. And I never realized the importance of it and how it could make me into a leader until I actually looked into the teamwork aspect of it. So, as I said, choir is a huge teamwork thing, and I can utilize my talents and share my gifts with others who have the same goal as me to use their talents and gifts to give back. And through this, as I've gotten older, obviously, I have younger students or classmates, and I have grown to become a role model for them. So it's always good to be part of like a team to help influence others. And I feel like I've grown through my choir, and without that, I wouldn't have been able to become the leader that I am today. So then my second point is Lever Foundation, which we kind of went over a bit yesterday, but it is a leadership program that I took part in. So that's a picture of me, Gabe, and Shane. If you guys can recognize them, they're all in this meeting. Basically what I did in this foundation, I volunteered and for 320 plus volunteer service hours. And we focused a lot on youth projects and again, worked alongside a team in creating initiatives and projects to get younger students, such as you guys, involved in the community and enriching their skills and everything in areas such as like arts and literacy and all of that. So then my third point is student council. And I'm actually a new member of student council, but I think it's going to benefit me a lot. This is going to be my first year going into grade 12. Chelsea has more experience than I do, but she's going to get into that. But this is also like another example of getting into as many clubs as you can, as we mentioned in being leader at school. So being a leader at school, you kind of have to throw yourself into situations, even though you might be scared. I know I was scared because student council, you kind of have to compete for a position and you have to prove yourself to the student body that you are capable of representing the school. So being a leader at my high school is going to be a big thing for me, but I know that if I'm working hard and if I apply all of the points that we have discussed, being organized and everything, then I can become a good member of the student council. And then last but not least, Y4Y. So obviously, oh, I forgot the picture. That's me and my running partner for student council. Okay, so for our last point, we have Y4Y. So Y4Y is obviously the society that you guys are joining the conference for right now. And just a little intro about it, even though we've discussed this before. Me and Gabe have a goal to kind of inspire youth as youth members ourselves. And we think it's really important because sometimes it's not as easy when adults kind of tell you what to do all the time, because you're always in classrooms with teachers and adult teachers, and your parents are always there to tell you everything and what to do. But I feel like it's different when youth people, members of the youth, are kind of an example for other youth, because they're in the same generation and we all know what we're going through, and we kind of have very similar perspectives. So Y4Y is a big thing that we hope can become more successful than it already is. So yeah, that's my life as a leader. And now we're gonna get into Chelsea's.
Awesome, thanks, Jill. So me as a leader, obviously sports play a big role in my life. I'm a very high level soccer player, but I also am part of the school volleyball, basketball, and of course soccer team. So a big way that I express my leadership is through sports. And it gets hard sometimes. Obviously, sports it's a very demanding thing, but obviously on the field, on the court, I just try to be a good leader by being loud, communicating to my teammates, helping them out if they need. All these things are a big role in sports, and it actually gets really hard when you get injured. And I've been injured a few times, and I'm like, oh, how am I going to lead my team, or how am I going to be a leader on my team if I'm injured? Like, you can't play by example or set an example for them. And so the only way you can really be a leader is just, still attending the practices, being there for them, participating by just watching and observing, helping them, all these things. And a big thing is also being a good friend off the field, off the court. It can't just be all on in the sport. You have to engage with everyone as friends and become better friends with them to be a good leader. And so the next point, I have a student council. Obviously, Jill touched on this a little bit already. She said she just is joining in grade 12, which is awesome. But I was on it in grade 11 and 12. So I have 1 year of experience, which isn't even that much. And at first I was actually very skeptical about joining, just because I didn't think I would have enough time to balance sports with school and my extracurricular activities as well. But it's actually really manageable, and the teachers really understand. So obviously, if you get a chance to run for student council, definitely try. It's such a good experience. Jill, if you can pop the photo up, that would be great. So yeah, I get a lead, and especially in grade 12, we are kind of at the top, so we get to make a lot more decisions than the lower grades, but it's still a lot of good experience to learn from the older students if you're starting younger. Obviously, I was starting a much older, so I didn't really get that much mentorship, but it's something that is really great because you get to help make decisions that benefit the school and all your friends and everyone in your grade. So yeah, and then the last point of how I am a leader is I'm a small business owner. Obviously, I'm just starting up, so it's not like that big. It's just kind of like a little side thing that I really enjoy. So I make handmade cards. It's called Cards for a Cause, and I donate 100% of the proceeds to charity, and I'm donating it to the Missionaries of Charity who work out of the downtown east side, and they help provide like food and water to the homeless people on that side. So I raised like over $800, and I'm going to continue it for my grade 12 year, and it's just something really fun and a new experience that I haven't really done anything like it before. And then the final thing is the Y4Y director. I'm the director of marketing. And I was so glad when Jill and Gabe were like, oh yeah, we want you on our team. Obviously, it's a great opportunity. I get to speak to you guys, share my experiences with you. And yeah, I also like, what do? I like respond to emails, all those different communication things. So yeah, it's been really fun. And obviously that's just a little bit about me as a leader. So yeah.
Great. So this is our little quote for the day. It's one day or day one, you decide. And it kind of ties into Renzelle's presentation yesterday of how her first step was to start. And like she said, it doesn't matter whether you start big or start small. As long as you start, then you are making an impact and you are helping the community in that way out of the goodness of your heart. So we all hope that you guys take into heart this presentation and that we hope inspire your decisions as a leader.
Yeah, don't be afraid to make a change in your community, and there will always be an opportunity for you guys to become great leaders. We always need young leaders in today's society, and obviously you guys have a lot of resources available to you. You guys are attending this leadership conference, so obviously you guys want to be great leaders, and obviously just take what you learned from today's conference and yesterday and apply it to your daily life. Take small steps. You guys are really fortunate to have all these resources because I had nothing like this growing up. So yeah.
And that is the end of our presentation. Thanks so much for listening to what me and Chels have to say about being a leader at school as a student. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute or type in the chat. Feel free to write on it to answer them. But yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So yeah, again, as Jill and Chelsea said, if any of you guys have any questions, feel free to type it into the chat.
Hey, Joe, we have a question.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, so did you want to give up when you became a leader? Okay, actually, Jill, you go first.
It's definitely, it depends on what you kind of get into, because like Renzelle said, it's easier to get into things that you kind of already have an interest in. But then sometimes when you want to step out of the box and you want to think outside of the box and you want to like move away from your comfort zone, it's definitely hard and you do have the tendency to want to give up. But at the end of the day, you kind of realize that not everything is about your benefit and not everything that you do is for yourself, right? You want to do a lot of the things for other people as well. So if you kind of realize that how much you're impacting other people besides yourself, then it kind of steers you away from giving up. But there are definitely times where I wanted to give up. But obviously, when you think about those perspectives, then it kind of just outweighs the other one. So yeah, what about you, Chels?
A lot of things that I was going to say are very similar to Jill's, but I think when you are a leader, there's a lot of expectations on you to be like perfect all the time, or, you know, you have to be on top of your game all the time. But obviously, everyone has off days. And I think if you communicate that to the group of people you're leading, they will totally understand, because everyone has off days, and you just can't let the expectation like get to you. And it's totally normal. And I always feel like giving up sometimes, you know, does get tiring, you know, trying to be perfect. So I would say just, you know, try your best to communicate to others how you're feeling. You know, one thing my volleyball team and I did was always have like a little meeting in the circle, you know, just seeing how everyone's day is. And it kind of is a way for you to get to know other people and get to know how they're feeling. And you kind of just know, like, okay, this person's had like not that good of a day, like, oh, just communicate to them, and, you know, be there for them. And it's a way just so that everyone's comfortable, and so that you don't have that expectation on you as a leader to be perfect all the time either.
Okay, so we have another from Courtney. She asked if there are any tips that we have to stay strong when people that want you to lead don't work with you well. Okay, so do you want to answer that first, Chelsea, or do you want me to go?
Don't work with you well. Okay, that's kind of a hard question, because I feel like everyone handles this a different way. Jill, do you have anything on top of your head right now?
I think relationships are definitely an important aspect when it comes to like working alongside a team, when you're talking about leading, especially because you want to be like a good influence on whoever you're trying to inspire, right? So if they don't work with you well, then it's definitely a priority to work on those relationships and friendships with them in order to kind of benefit the people that you are trying to influence. So any tips? Talk to people. Don't keep it into yourself. Make sure that you are getting a voice in whatever you need to say or however you feel. Talk to the person and kind of make sure that you're both listening to each other and know like where both of you are coming from if they don't work with you well. And yeah, is there anything that you think can resolve conflict, Chelsea?
I think the biggest thing is communication, as you said, you know, vocalizing that you guys like have a little bit of tension, like you guys don't work that well together. So I don't know, it's just like the best way is just to try and see if you guys can work well together. I'm sure there's a compromise that can be made between any two people. So definitely don't feel like you are gonna like fail if you like don't work well with the person. There's always something that you can do to help each other. You can always learn from someone. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay, Darius, is it hard to become a leader? Yes. It is, but it also kind of depends on kind of like the person you are. Because it depends on like your work ethic, because everyone's different and everyone kind of has to, sometimes people have to work to get to where they are in kind of like the leader hierarchy. And some people, they're kind of just like natural leaders, like they're born already, you know, into life with no like obstacles in their way. So I think it is kind of hard to become a leader because like Chelsea said, there's a lot of expectations, but we're all human. So as long as we're understanding of each other, then it gets less difficult. It helps for other people when they understand. So what do you think, Chelsea?
I think probably the easiest thing for you to do if you're not a natural born leader is just to put yourself out there, like join as many clubs or activities as you can. And once you get comfortable in that environment, you know, it's much easier to be a leader because you're comfortable and confident in yourself. So as long as you have the opportunity to join those activities, definitely do that. And if you really want to become a leader, I'm sure you will, and it will give you much more motivation to be one of like the leaders on your team if you join early. So yeah, but it is definitely hard. I think there's challenges with it as well.
Okay, our next question. How do you continue to grow and develop as leaders? So personally, it's kind of like what Chell said, put yourself out there, get involved in as many like clubs or volunteer opportunities as you can. The 4 kind of areas that we talked about, working on yourself, working in small areas such as at home or to like your close group of friends. And then you don't always have to start large, and you don't have to invent the iPhone. You don't have to like get into big groups right away. Just starting small is definitely a good way to continue and grow and like practice your leadership skills. So that's, yeah.
I'll just be quick here, but I think you can keep growing by just challenging yourself, setting yourself up for new things, taking the risk. If someone asks you to be a leader on a team and you're kind of hesitant, just do it, see where it goes. Obviously, the person believes in you if they chose you. So definitely accept a challenge when you see it. And another thing I would say is just keeping in check with yourself. If you make sure that your mentality and you're feeling well, you're able to better serve others and be that leader for them. And also it helps develop yourself and helps you grow.
Great. Courtney asks, what is one characteristic you guys believe every leader should have? Okay, Chelsea, I think you should go first.
Okay. Obviously, I would say communication. I'm a very vocal person, very social. So it's just kind of the easiest way for me to be a leader is just to vocalize it and talk to people, get to know them. So on the court or something, I'm always like really loud. I lead by kind of example. That's always one thing that I believe in. So I don't know. And also another thing is probably loyalty and trust. I think that's pretty understandable. So yeah. Jill?
Yeah, I agree. I think loyalty is a big one because you're kind of making a commitment to yourself and to the community, and as well as being organized and efficient. I think those are kind of big ones because if you're organized, less things fall apart, I find. And if you're organized, you're also efficient. So yeah, those are kind of qualities I think every leader should have.
Okay, I think this is the last question.
Yeah,
I think.
So
yeah.
Darius asked, will you keep working to be a better leader? Do you want to go first, Chelsea?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think obviously I want to be, reach my full potential. And I think I'm well on my way to becoming a better leader, and obviously it takes a lot of learning. So experience is one thing that you can't buy, and obviously by putting myself out there and joining all these different sports and being part of student council, it enables me to become a better leader. So hopefully when I get older, I'm able to, whatever, in my workplace, when I graduate university, in like a long time, I can be a better leader for whoever I'm working with and everything. How about you, Jill?
Yeah. I will definitely keep on working to become a better leader. And as mentioned yesterday, life is a work in progress. So there's always going to be, peaks of my leadership skills and moments. And then there's always going to be, all-time lows. But there's never going to be an end to my like leadership qualities or skills or actions. And I think that by striving to become a better leader, by consistently striving to become one, it'll benefit me a lot as an individual. My well-being, I think it'll definitely benefit that, and it'll benefit the people that I am affecting. So that's why I think you guys should always work to become better leaders as well. But yeah, these are such good questions, guys.
Yeah, thanks,
you.
guys. Okay, Courtney, your turn.
Thank you, Jill and Chelsea, for that amazing presentation. I really liked all of the questions that you guys added in there. And also thank you all to all the attendees for your participation and contributions to the presentation.
So now it's me. The time has come to the end of our mini junior leadership conference. We want to give you a really big thank you to those who have made everything up to this point possible. Ryan, the director of events, and Jonas, our IT director, the parents behind the scenes that have helped us set up this event, and the guest speakers, and the other directors have been leading the various activities throughout this 2-day conference. We truly hope that you will bring home with you the learnings from the inspiring talk of Renzelle about her motivation to lead and that life is a work in progress. To Jill and Chelsea's talk about the various ways you can lead in your community. We also hope you had taken in the words about leadership, such as teamwork, reliability, responsibility, humility, service, and that they guide you whenever you need inspiration in your tasks. We at Y4Y will be here for you, and we will be offering mentorships throughout our various programs and events. So follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Congratulations to you all for finishing this program, and have a happy rest of your summer.
Thank you so much. We are really thrilled for the turnout that we had this during this event. We can't say it enough. We are so grateful for your guys's again like relentless contributions and your participation, especially with all of our speakers. We really do appreciate it, and we really hope to get to know each and every one of you guys as we are able to possibly see you guys in person as all of the COVID sort of things start to clear up. And again, just thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys making your time here to come and listen to us, especially when it's nice summer day. Well, maybe not as much with the heat, but you guys could be doing so many other things, but you are here with us. So thank you. You guys can go ahead and leave if you guys are ready. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.